I am Stephen Trotter, the owner of BattlestarMercury.com YouTube channel, and I watched the State of the Union last night. I found the most interesting part of that address was not the speech itself, which was feisty and energized. As a politician, Joe Biden gets energized by being with his friends, the crowd, and it's it's good. President has a very tough job, and he should get the fun parts of the job too. And State of the Union looks like he had fun. Better him than me. When President Trump was president, I used to call into radio programs and argue against his policies. When people said Trump, I said, no, I need to correct you on that. President Trump. We need to respect the office, even if we don't respect the occupant of that office. And the same thing's not happening now that Joe Biden is president. The election of 2020 was not stolen. It was lost by Donald Trump. There are no facts. There is no video. There is nothing that can argue otherwise. 37 court cases found no evidence of fraud. We have to have facts in this country. We have to understand that political arguments are based on facts, or should be based on facts. You just can't make these things up. There was an insurrection on January 6th, and there's nobody's going to get me to believe that people opened the doors to the Capitol and waved the rioters in. That is made up. President Biden is an old man. He looks pretty good to me right now, and he looks like he's got a lot of energy. I will no longer be silent when my acquaintances and friends stand up and say that Joe Biden is senile. A man is not senile just because his opponent in the election has decided to repeat that lie 100,000 times and spread it around the country. That is not fact. That is fiction. I will stand up and argue against fact-free commentary. You will not say that the President of the United States is senile in my presence without hearing an objection. I will not allow people to be made uncomfortable at the dinner table because politics are being shoved in their faces. Families should have something more to talk about than this election. I do not endorse every policy of the Biden administration. There is no need to build a port to get aid into Gaza. The United States government has made a mistake. The Israeli government has made clear that there's unlimited aid allowed into Gaza. They can inspect up to 500 trucks a day. That's more than enough to feed the people of Gaza. Now, the Israeli army and the Israeli government have shown some incompetency at maintaining security for the convoys going into Gaza. That needs to get fixed. I am very pleased that last night President Biden mentioned the 1,200 victims of the October 7th massacres in Israel who were sexually abused and tortured, both while they were alive and after they were dead. I will oppose Kamala Harris and Joe Biden if they try to stop Israel from anything short but every Hamas terrorist being captured, surrendered, or killed. Every death in Gaza is the responsibility of Hamas, terrorist, rapist government. They have sinfully, against the laws of the Quran and the laws of Abraham, used their population as human shields. Every death in Gaza is the responsibility of Hamas, not the Israeli army. The Israeli army has taken deep, difficult measures to make sure that civilians are not killed, even when they're being used as shields. I will oppose the Biden administration if they try and stop the war in Gaza before the complete surrender of Gaza. But just because I oppose the President One policy does not mean I will oppose him. It's time to stop lying in this presidential election, and it's time to start debating policy. Ukraine has been invaded by Russia and is going to lose this war if we don't get ammunition moving and weapons into that country right now. The immigration deal. Senile President Biden outmaneuvered the Republicans, gave them a bill in conjunction with the Ukraine aid and the Israel aid and the Taiwan aid, gave them a bill that gave them everything they wanted and would have resulted in real change in the border and real security for the United States. But former President Trump called the Republicans and says, don't pass this bill. I don't care if it's good for the country. I need this issue in the election. Well, I'm calling you out. If you sign the bill next year, you should urge your Republican colleagues to send it to Joe Biden to be signed now. Lastly, 53 times during the Trump administration, the Congress tried and failed to cancel Obamacare, ACA. I will stand up and fight any candidate who tries to take away the health insurance of my friends. That's for you, Marissa. Thank you for listening. With regards to the senility argument, I found the time after the speech, the hour, just talking to people, live, unscripted, no teleprompter. I saw an engaged, lucid man talking to his political friends and other people. That can't be scripted. That cannot be anything other than what it was. It shows that the charges of senility are false. Thank you for listening. End of the speech.